All right, we're here with Maddox Rickertsen. Maddox is a sophomore tight end for the Concordia Bulldogs. And about a year ago, Maddox, first of all, welcome. Thank you for coming.
Thank you. Thanks.
About a year ago, you suffered an injury in a game against Briarcliff, and a good hit, but it ended up that you found a lot more out about your health after that hit. Take us through that a little bit, will you, Maddox?
Yeah, we were playing Briarcliff. It was a night game. It was a close game. A lot of energy in the stadium and everything. And they just had the light show starting the fourth quarter. And our punt team goes out. We're punting. And I'm part of the wall that is protecting the punter. And the number 28 from Briarcliff just kind of ran straight through me. Big guy just just trucked me right over. Ended up cutting the tumor open, which caused some bleeding and everything. So at first, what I thought was a broken rib ended up to, be a tumor that if we wouldn't have found it, could have caused some serious problems.
So you had no idea before that hit that you had a tumor, though, right?
No idea.
Wow.
I had been feeling kind of sick at practice and everything. I was puking a few times at practice, and I was struggling to keep food down. I remember before the Briarcliff game, the only thing I'd eaten before the game was 2 pieces of toast, and it was a 7 p.m. game. So that's not, you don't want to play football on just 2 pieces of bread, but it's all I could keep down at the time. So we kind of knew something was off, but not what we were thinking for sure.
So you go in, you think maybe you have a cracked rib or something like that after the big hit. You find out that in fact it's a tumor. What are you thinking? What are you feeling at that point?
Well, the first time I went in, they thought that maybe I just had lacerated a kidney or something like that. So I sat out for a week, sat one game, came home, rested up a little bit. Then I actually came back and practiced for one more week and played one more game against Hastings. And that's when we ended up having a colonoscopy just to kind of find out, see what was going on, because something still wasn't right. And that's where they ended up finding the tumor. And so immediately after that, I pretty much packed up my things. My mom was with me that day. We packed up my stuff and headed home to try and start the recovery process and kind of figure out what we needed to do to get rid of the tumor and everything. So,
and there was a feeling there for a while that this could be a pretty good battle for you, didn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was. I think my mom and dad took a lot of that on. I kind of just was going with the flow. I didn't really understand. I mean, I didn't ask a whole lot of questions. I kind of just did what the doctors and what my parents told me I needed to do so that I could get back to the field faster. But ended up working out pretty well. They were able to remove the tumor during a colonoscopy instead of the surgery where they were planning on cutting me up from here down and then removing it that way, which would have been a lot longer and more difficult recovery. So I was pretty lucky to be able to have it taken out the way they did. So thankful for that.
One of the things that you often see when folks run into problems like this is that you look back, you reflect, it's been a year since then, and maybe there was something that you gained from that. Would you say that's the case, Maddox?
Oh, for sure. Yeah. I definitely learned to not take things for granted. And I've said that in interviews in the past. But it gets really easy, especially playing college football. You do the same thing every day, and it's hard work, and it gets easy sometimes to kind of let off the gas and just go through the motions. I think this kind of taught me that's not the way to go about things in life at all. You never know when you're going to get pulled out of something or something bad can happen. And so I think that if that would have gone worse and that would have been my last time playing football, I think I would have had a lot of regrets, just going through the motions and stuff like that. So I learned to not take football or anything for granted because you really don't know when it'll be taken away. So.
And not only did you get something, you learned something out of that, but you mentioned big number 28 from Briarcliff. He kind of reached out to you, didn't he?
Yeah, so he messaged me on Instagram after he saw the story and just kind of said he was praying for me and hoping everything was going well. And then we hadn't talked since then. And then our team went up to Briarcliff just 2 weeks ago. And I actually saw him after the game and talked to him for a little bit, caught up with him. So good guy. It was good to catch up with him. So
neat. I like that.
Yep.
That's a great story. That's a great story. Well, we're glad you're doing better a year later. And now you got some knee injuries you're trying to get past right now, but you feel like that's close, right?
Yeah, I'm planning on coming back today. So I've missed 2 games this year because of my knee, but hopefully it's nothing serious and I'll be able to get back on the field today, hopefully.
All right. Well, you're
So,
certainly an inspirational story for lots of us back here in central Nebraska. We're so glad everything came out for you, and you know, you grow from it, right?
yep, you do.
All right. It's Maddox Rickertsen. Thank you so much for being with us here today. Okay.
Yeah, thanks for having me.